Sophie stared at him for a long moment, her small face serious in a way that only children manage when they're remembering something sad. Ben stood still, glancing toward the window. Rain tapped lightly against the glass. Sophie's words echoed in the room. Too perceptive for a child, too honest to ignore. He had felt it too. That quiet inside Leia. Not peace, but waiting. Later that week, during setup for a community event, one of the older volunteers, Maria, approached Ben with a folded newspaper clipping. "I thought you might have known," she said softly. "Most of us do, but we let her lead the way." Ben unfolded the page. The headline read, "Survivor turns advocate. Leia Monroe breaks silence after 6-month ordeal." The article, dated several years ago, detailed how Leia had vanished for months, kidnapped and held by her fiancé in a remote cabin. A man with wealth, charm, no criminal record. When she escaped, she disappeared from public life until resurfacing to build the organization she now led. Ben's throat tightened. She had never told him. That night, after putting Sophie to bed, he stared at Leia's name on his phone for several minutes, thumb hovering over the screen. But he did not call. The next day, during a self-defense class, Leia taught with calm precision. Ben waited until the room thinned out, then approached quietly, no fanfare, no confrontation. "I read something," he said. Leia froze, foam pad still in her hands. "I'm not mad," Ben added gently. "I just hate that you've carried that alone." Her shoulders trembled. She turned away, pressing her palms to her eyes. The tears came anyway. "It's not the secret," she whispered. "It's the way people look at me after." Ben didn't move closer, but his voice was close. "I'm not looking at you differently." She drew a shaky breath. "You might think I'm broken." He shook his head. "No. I think you're strong. Stronger than anyone should have to be by themselves." This time, she looked at him, raw and unsure. And for the first time, she believed he meant it, not out of pity, but recognition. When the class finally ended and the last women filtered out, they walked together toward the exit. Before stepping outside, Leia stopped. "Can I tell you something?" He nodded. "I don't remember his face anymore," she said quietly. "The man who hurt me. It's like fog. I can't hold on to it." Ben waited. "But I think," her voice cracked, "I'll always remember yours." She didn't cry, and he didn't try to fix anything. He just stood beside her, the kind of silence that heals, the kind that stays. Sunday morning arrived gray and quiet. Rain tapped softly against the windows of the community center. But something was missing, Leia. At first, Ben assumed she was late. He texted, "Everything okay? Want coffee?" No reply. No read receipt. By noon, volunteers rearranged the workshop without her. A young girl mentioned casually, "She told us Friday she needed a break. Said it might be for a few weeks." Ben said nothing. That evening, after tucking Sophie in, he walked to Leia's apartment. The building was silent. Her lights were off. Her mailbox was full. But it was the object by her door that made him stop. A folded black umbrella. His umbrella. The same one from the storm. Tucked beneath the handle was a note. "Thank you for letting me be myself. Sometimes to heal we have to walk away, but I carry this with me." He read the note 3 times, then slipped it into his palm like something fragile. A week passed. Then 2. Ben went through the motions. Work, school pickup, laundry, bedtime stories, but something essential was missing. It wasn't just her voice or her kindness. It was the version of himself that existed when she was near. There are some people you do not meet by accident. And some spaces, once filled by them, never feel whole again. On a quiet Thursday evening, the doorbell rang. When Ben opened it, no one was there. Only a small brown package tied neatly with twine. Inside, a linen handkerchief embroidered with one word, hope, a small book titled Letters I Never Sent, and an ivory envelope inside the envelope, an invitation. Voices reclaimed an evening of stories and survival Saturday, 7 p.m. Community Cultural Center. Heath didn't need to guess who it was from. The event hall glowed softly, not with spotlights but candlelight. White flowers lined the walls. Wooden chairs faced a small stage draped in gray fabric. "It feels like a story," Sophie whispered. "It is," Ben replied. "She is." When the room dimmed, Leia stepped onto the stage wearing a simple blue dress. No jewelry. No armor. When she spoke, her voice was clear. "I used to think survival meant silence, staying small enough not to be seen. But healing is quiet too. Healing is in the soft things. The quiet people. The hands that stay open even when they shake." She paused, scanning the room. There was a night in the rain. I was not okay. But someone stopped. Not to ask for details. Not to demand explanations. Just to offer tea and dignity. And from the way he looked at me, I learned I was still a person. Ben's eyes never left her. When applause rose, hers searched only one part of the room, and found him. Later, they walked through the drizzle with Sophie skipping ahead. No umbrellas. Just rain and breath and the soft sound of footsteps. "This rain," Ben murmured, "is where we met." "This rain," Leia replied, "is where I stopped hiding." He reached for her hand. This time she held on. Not fixed. Not perfect. But full. Together.